You know now there's that iconic photo, right? You going like, that photo is going to be all over the place. Years to come.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to say it was Vic.
You're going to say it was Vic? Yeah, that ain't gonna cut.
Yeah. I got better style than you, B, so.
Yeah. Oh, shots fired.
Okay, so I got another question. It's still going to Vic, not you, Coach Liz, all right? It's going to Vic. While she was out there doing her thing, your sister, right? How much of yourself were you seeing in her? How many times they would do something, be like, yeah, I told her that. Yeah, oh, we talked about that. Tell me, how many times? Tell me. I want to know.
Great question, Karabani, because I told her everything I know.
Okay.
Let her know.
We actually coached together until we were about 24.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
it's okay, Liz. You can take something. She taught you everything. It's okay. Come on, keep going.
No. Look. In all fairness, Liz has worked really hard to be where she's at, and I think a lot of it comes from just her openness to learning, to general knowledge of different sports, her own work environment in a corporate space. She's always doing different courses and reaching out to different people. So no, it's all her, 110%. I claim no credit.
You claim no credit?
Now,
hey, you gotta be like, I taught her how to be competitive. That's what.
Liz has always been way more competitive than me. I was the captain. I was always the captain. But Liz
I'm gonna tell you why we're competitive. Because we want to be
we're younger
siblings. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, I want to be. Listen, my brother got me to go over the edge. So
yeah,
it's
well,
not
for
110%
sure.
Liz. It's 50-50.
Yeah,
Right, Liz?
100%.
They drive you
100%.
over the edge without knowing it.
Yeah.
okay. I do want to dive in real quickly because I know we're probably going to spend a lot of time on this topic, right? Or maybe not spend a lot of time, just move real quick, but it's going to be one of those ugly questions and real quick. Now,
Yep.
Streets is talking. You know, streets are always talking. Streets always have something to talk about. And now the streets are talking. Like, how were you able to take this team that wasn't able to go all the way to Afrobasket for so many years, 28 years? They had this old coach. What was he doing wrong? And what did you do right? How come you got it just like that? What's the word?
Credit goes to all the coaches that worked with Morans prior to me coming in. Obviously, they laid the foundation, and I can't take credit for that. I believe that I came in just to elevate this team to a more international standard. The former coaching staff didn't have the ability to break down film, analyze games, look at advanced stats, or move this team towards a more international style of basketball because they just haven't had a lot of experience at the continental level. And that's no shame. Like, Kenya hasn't been participating in these kind of events for a long time. So it's hard to gain experience when the team isn't competing. So for me, I just had a more experience, more qualified, and I think we can all agree the team played a lot differently to how they played in Rwanda. And that's a credit to, obviously the foundation that was laid by former coaches, but I helped them elevate to a next level, which allowed them to qualify for Afrobasket.
Straight up. Now I'm going to ask you something else, and please be real. I know a lot of people will go out there and try to discredit. Unfortunately, that's the way the world is. Because you're a woman, one way or the other. Now tell me if this is the case or not. Do you feel some of this talk out there is because you're a woman? Some of this unwarranted talk? Or is it something else? Is there some other thing that's happening out there?
Oh, of course. I think especially for the old school coaches in Africa, the men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, I think they have a really hard time accepting a female coach. And I also think haters are going to hate, and there's always going to be supporters for former coaches or former, like Ivan, if you go to a new team and you replace the superstar in that old team, there's people who are going to straight up hate you because you replaced their idol. And it doesn't matter if they have no idea who you are. You could be better than that player, but they're loyal to their former guy. And so, I expect that, and I can appreciate that. It's only when the hate becomes personal or gender specific.
And
Women
Liz, the other thing is, if you were a male American or European coach,
no one would
have batted an eyelid.
Yep.
We know all about this.
We had a lengthy conversation with Diambo, right, Air Force One, about how American players are treated in Europe and in Africa in comparison to African players. Well, it's pretty much the Western world. I guess Australia does not qualify as the Western world. Is that the case?
We are. We're one of the. We're like the better version.
They're the privileged ones. Trust me.
But Vic, I gotta say you're right. I mean, I do see this. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm blind to it. I see it all the time. There's a huge difference. I see that happening in a lot of different countries. You see a men, especially from the US, coming in, might not know anything, might spend only like a couple of days, might come down for like a day. I'm going to be very specific. Something similar to that is happening in Tanzania. The head coach is Coach McAllister. I'm actually going to put his name out there. He's a high school coach in the US with no winning record, but he's a national team coach in Tanzania. It is... Okay, I was going to use the word, maybe I need to take it back, but it is just crazy. It is really crazy. They're more than qualified coaches, but it's just because he's American. It's just because he's a man. It is just because, I don't know.
Well, look,
Well, look, and
right?
Liz, I was going to say, right, the fact is so many foreign coaches will come to Africa and just, like a week before the tournament and be like, okay, play this certain style. They have no real appreciation for how the game is played in Africa. And that's what makes Liz so different. She was prepping, she was ready from the moment she landed in Kenya. And one of the players actually came up to her after the first training session and said, "Thanks for knowing my name. Thanks for already knowing my strengths and weaknesses. Thanks for using the plays we already have and just building on top of that." There was respect already.
Well, it's clear to see that majority of the coaches in Africa and players, when they want stats, they go to Coach Liz. This was happening. I mean, it's been like that for a while, so we can't ignore the facts. The facts are there. The knowledge is there.
I think at the end of the day, let's look at I'm not an NBA caliber coach, obviously. And if we look at Alex Naura, was the head coach of Nigeria for World Cup qualifying and the World Cup. And then he chose to step down to be the assistant coach when Mike Brown came in, right? So the question would be, is the former head coach of Kenya happy to step down for a person who is more qualified, more experienced, and more skilled? And the answer is no, because she's a woman.
Wow.
Woo. I mean,
Shots.
yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely fire. Woo, I can feel him flying.
So how do you deal with a situation like that?
Look, it's unfortunate that the former head coach didn't want to be more professional about how he behaved, and he never reached out to me until he showed up at one of my practice sessions, where he then announced that he wouldn't be joining us for qualifiers. And then he also came back to a training session when he was going back to Rwanda to say he was looking forward to rejoining the team for Afrobasket when we qualified. So, numerous times he tried to undercut me at practice, but I chose to take the higher ground. I know my value, I know my worth, and I know that I've got KBF behind me. So if he had behaved in a more professional manner, I think we could have perhaps come to an agreement about how we could have worked together. But it was his decision not to work with me. I can't force someone to work with me. It was his decision to leave the team. So at the end of the day, if you want to pick to coach a little club in Rwanda over your national team, I can't help you.
Wow.
That is crazy what you just told us.
Wow.
So, you know, like
Real talk.
That's real talk.
Real talk. Yeah.
But, you know, credit goes to him for getting them to where they were. And it's a shame that he didn't want to be part of their journey moving forward.
And I can respect that. I can respect that. I can definitely respect that. All right, so I don't want to get stuck on that. I think the word is out.
Yeah, let's not
People will take whatever they need to take from that. You put it out there, it's clear. I would like to dive more into the inspiration that you've just thrown out there to all the young girls, all the aspiring coaches out there, or maybe just players, or not even coaches, or have nothing to do with basketball, just seeing you in the light that they saw you doing something major in Africa. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Look, on one hand, I'm super proud, and Vic can tell you in 2012, after getting smacked around by Augusto, Petro, and Interclub, I said, you know what? I want to take it to teams like this. I want to challenge the powerhouses in Africa. I want to be the first woman to head coach a team at Afrobasket. So that was in 2012. We're almost a decade into that dream. And so first game in Rwanda, I will have achieved that goal, which means so much to me. Obviously, friends and family back home have heard me talk about it for years and years, so Vic can tell you all about it a bit later, but that I'm so happy that I've finally been able to achieve that. But shout out to obviously Africa. Everybody's always like, Africa is so backwards and so patriarchal. Well, guess what? This is the first female head coaching any national team around the world, and Africa is the first.
Boom, boom, boom,
So-
boom, boom.
The motherland.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like shout out to players like Ivan, who I've never even coached or coached against, having support of some of the best players in Africa, and them shouting me out was huge. That meant more to me than randoms like BBC or whatever coming and talking to me. I'm like, hey, as long as
wait a minute, time out. Did you just notice that Coach Liz just dropping names right there? Like BBC, like CNN, like,
Can we cut that section, Liz?
Sorry, I wasn't even really thinking about what I'm just saying is the support of African players and coaches means more to me than anybody else, and their acceptance of me has been huge. But then, on the other hand, we're in 2021 and we're celebrating a milestone like this. So that's disappointing that we got to this point and we're only now celebrating the first female to do it. We should have been celebrating this decades ago.
Me and Karabani talked about it, and this is why in my post I didn't even put the first female coach. I was just congratulating because it's just something normal for me.
Yeah, it should on the continent. I'm so normal. Like you guys are just like, if I'm not at a tournament, it's me.
No.
So
I think it's only the outside world views it differently than we do. I think because I didn't see it differently, and I didn't have no problem seeing a female coach on TV. Sorry for saying female. I just saw a coach there, a coach leading his team to a victory.
Exactly.
Nice. So, actually, I don't need to ask this question. I had a question for you, Vic, but they kind of answered it right now. I was going to ask you, do you see her as a woman, or do you just see her as a coach doing what she was doing? But I guess we just talked about that.
Yeah.
But do you?
So,
she sees me as her Liz.
No, I mean, on a serious note, I judge Liz as if I judge any other coach, but at the same time, you can't take away from the achievement. and what she's done. So it's hard not to be proud of the fact she is the first woman. And Liz will often say, you brush it off, but no one else has done it. So yes, I think she's a great coach, and I think there's still so much more potential. I'm excited to see where that journey goes, but at the same time, you can't be more proud of the fact that she's the first woman.
Very true. Very true. Okay, so what's next for her? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You want to ask a different?
I had a question because before she was talking about and Vic was saying that she was so well prepared to come to Africa, to knowing the style of the way Africa plays, which is very differently than European style and the American style. I just wanted to follow up. How did you prepare for that? How do you go into training camp just trying to get your players to play that exact style that is played in Africa? I know a lot of coaches because I had coaches come from United States of America. You said Coach Alice Nora, he was actually the coach of our national team. But we were trying to play American style basketball back then, but we didn't have the pieces because we don't have that quality. So how do you work with players that have this certain quality in Africa and certain ability to play this style of basketball? How do you adapt to that?
Well, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. When I was in Zambia, when I first started coaching here, 2011 to about 2017, tried to bring and force an Australian way of playing. And so, failing to qualify to Afro in 2017 really was the light bulb where it was like, Liz, this is Africa. They have a way of playing, and you've got to respect how they play. And that doesn't mean that they can't run the sets that you run in Australia. You just have to adapt them. And a lot of coaches, I find, let's just say they run horns, and it doesn't matter who their personnel is. They're just going to run horns. They don't adapt it to their specific personnel. So for me, heading into Kenya specifically, it was very much watching all their games from Afro-Can pre-qualifiers to qualifiers the next round, knowing all the players, knowing what their tendencies were. And it's kind of like, well, how can I, because they obviously didn't fit well in Rwanda. Something wasn't clicking. So it was about kind of using their style and then adding a of international, obviously we ran flex and we ran blind pig action, which is out of the triangle offense. So it's adding little bits and pieces. It's not just shoving the whole play onto them. And I think they really appreciated the fact that, I came into the first practice and I was like, okay, Eric, run the point. Let's run this. Let's do that. Defensively, we're going to keep running ice on the side, but high pick and roll, we're doing this. So I say 75% of what they were already doing, and then just added to take them to that next level because they had the talent. That's what wasn't utilized in Rwanda. And developing plays and sets that I could utilize their talent.
Good talent.
Good.
I like that.
All right, guys, before you know it, time is flying, and we usually have the tough questions, and usually when somebody new comes along, they get tough questions. We got to throw them at them. We got to throw at them. And Vic, all right, this is it. It's time for the tough questions. Doom. You all ready? This is going to be really tough.
Bring it.
All right. So, between Coach Liz and Coach Vic, who is the better coach?
Well, in a business sense, I would be on the floor as Liz.
I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time. I missed that.
I said, in a business sense, I am the boss, and on the floor, Liz is the general.
Okay.
So Liz is the better coach.
Okay. Okay, so that's what it means. All right. I was going to ask for some clarification.
I dare you to sit next to Vic during one of my games, and she'll tell you exactly what I'm doing wrong.
Okay. All right. So, the next question is, who fell in love with the game of basketball first, you or Coach Liz?
A good question. Well, we actually fell in love with netball first. Actually, netball was our first love. And it gave us great team leadership, court vision, and we were exposed to a lot of good coaches there as well. But we actually started watching the WNBL here and just fell in love with the game. And our dad actually took us up to play basketball at, I think, 15. And that's where the love affair really took off.
Okay.
So it's hard to say. Liz, what do you think?
I think when we were younger, we did everything together. So it's hard to distinguish who thought of doing what first.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but
yeah, we'd say we did it together.
okay, but the next question is very simple, but yet very hard. 1-on-1, who wins? Coach Liz or Coach Vic?
Liz would win 1-on-1, but in a shooting contest, I'd win probably.
Okay. All right, please, Coach Vic, please stop that. You're being way too diplomatic. Give me the real 1-on-1. Who wins?
Yeah,
Liz would.
So okay, Coach Liz.
I would win the 1-on-1, but Vic was always the better shooter. Like if we're doing a shooting game, Vic's gonna win that. Like shit, she could get on the court right now and beat Ivan probably. Like
one-on-one is different than just shooting standing. You know, like one-on-one is very specific.
That's why Liz would win.
That's why I win that. But like Vic shooting, I would put money on her over anyone in Africa.
Okay.
Because Joel's a better shooter, but he'll never beat me.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Well, we need to get Joelle on here and just make it a family affair.
Right.
Oh my God.
We should do that next time. Okay, and the very last question is actually the easiest question. I love to ask this. Why should we come visit Australia? Because I heard you brag a little bit about Australia when you're talking about Angola. So why should we come visit Australia?
Well, we got great weather, we got great beaches, we got great basketball players. We are ranked, number 2 in the world. Thank you. So, no, I mean, honestly, it'd be wonderful to have y'all down here. It would be great.
Come and visit.
Talk about the kangaroos.
Oh yeah, kangaroos. And we've got like lots of things that can kill you: spiders, sharks.
Now, why would we want to come? Why would we want to come there now? Huh? Why?
We have 8 of the top 10 deadliest animals. So come to Australia
Okay.
to die.
All right. What a way to sell the country. You come out here, you'll die. You should come.
I have a question for every panel member because I am a former host.
Yes.
So I have a question. So for every panel member, please give me your top 3 players of the second round and why.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Karabani.
Oh, you want to start with me?
Yo, well, Quali.
You want to start with me?
It's your show, man. You get to start.
No, I'm the last one. I round up everything. Oh God, I don't know. Okay, that's a tough one. To be honest,
I know Vic has no favorites, so let's start with Vic.
Okay, and you guys prep because I knew from the very beginning you were talking about what's his name? How do you pronounce his name? Y'all talked about this, so this is not fair. This is not fair. They got a list already. I know they got a list.
We as the Mills twins are always prepared.
Yeah, I can see that. All right,
I was like looking at Google.
I know. That's what he's doing. He's cheating.
Google.
Yes, you are. I can see that. You are cheating.
I gotta look up the names because I don't want to say any names wrong.
Yeah, I think that's my problem, man.
Okay.
Okay, Vic, go for it.
Well, they're like not my favorite players, but who played well. You can't ever really go past Carlos Moraes. I mean, when he's on and he's locked in, he's unstoppable. I thought Dubia from Guinea played really well that last game. Oh, he dropped some beautiful assists to his big men. They held on to get that win, which was, a do or die match. And then probably, look, I always love watching Morans from Cameroon play. He's one of the most exciting young players coming out, from Africa. And he's always fun to watch.
Boom.
Okay.
Ivan.
No.
I'll jump in, no problem. I actually know who I'll go for. I'll actually go with Ike. I like what he did.
Diogo?
Yes, Ike. Yeah. Ike was nice. Again, it's not about the numbers. It's not about everything else. To me, it's about the game, how you get everybody else involved, how you control the game, how you dictate. And he just does that so well for Nigeria. And I think they're a great team because of him. So I got to give him props. 2, I'll have to go with my main man. Actually, I did go back. I didn't see his games. I had to go back and check his games, and I'm like, oh, wow. I wish I'd seen him live. And that would be my main man, Ibrahim Jambo. I got to give him props.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love his game. That's why I was like, you guys need to interview him.
Yes,
I'm a fan.
Yes.
But I also just want to state, I didn't watch all these games. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, well, me too. That's why I told you I had to go back some of the games, because some games, 2 games will be on at the same time, so it was kind of difficult watching all the games, right? So yeah, I had to go back for that. I had to check his games, and then the last guy I'll have to go with Omar Abada. I like his game. Yeah, I got to go with him.
Best point guard in Africa, easily.
Yeah,
Easily, man.
Okay, and I got one. This is not a good one. I got to put him out there, and I said I'll put him out there. I was very disappointed with my main man, the point guard himself, Shane. You let me down. You let me down.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
All right.
Called out.
So you won't come out here and
Disrespect Cape Verde like that.
I am not disrespected. I am not disrespected. I was let down. That's the point guard, and he let me down. So I gotta let him know, man. I gotta let him know.
Just be grateful you got some basketball to see on TV that's international.
Yeah.
But I know it's gonna come back right. I know it's gonna come back right. I got faith. I got faith in Shane. I got faith.
Hey, I hope we get Cape Verde in our group, man. I'm coming for you guys.
Ooh.
Listen, you don't want to start talking all that.
Ooh.
Listen,
she beat the house. She already done it, bro.
Let me,
Have you beaten Angola recently? Have you beaten Angola recently?
Liz, let me tell you something. Listen, when I get in that court, all this stuff you're about to do right now, don't trash talk to me outside the court. Listen, I will have no mercy.
My trash. Go tell the Senegal about my trash talk.
I will start beating you on the court and talking bad to you on the bench, on the game.
Really?
Trust me.
Game on. Game on.
You don't want to talk trash to me outside the court.
Ooh, Coach Liz.
We're coming for you guys. We're coming for you guys.
I'm so disrespectful on the court. I don't care who is there. It could be my grandpa there.
Okay, it's your turn, man. El Conda, it's you now.
All right. Me, I'm going to go with first one, Moraes from Angola. Ike Diogo. And I got 2 for third place. Because those are the 2 national teams that surprised me this qualifiers. From South Sudan, Nuni Omot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he played a good game.
He played very good. And from Kenya, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
100.
Yes.
Tyler was
And,
nice.
So that's like 4.
Tyler was injured, actually. That's why he only played 20 minutes against Senegal.
Oh,
And he's like, I got nothing for Mozambique, so I'm going all out against Angola.
yeah. That's why he set out, right?
Yeah, exactly. I took all my international guys out of that game because of the way Mozambique were playing.
Yes.
Hey,
That's what we were talking about. We were like, people need to go back to their country, to their teams healthy. So it would make more sense to expose them like that and, just not care about it.
Exactly.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's the name of your guy in your team?
Ronnie?
No.
Connie?
The one, the grey hair.
Oh, Preston.
Preston
Oh,
Boone.
I thought, Preston was great against Senegal. I think he put everything he could out on the floor. He was he just kept going, and against Angola, really again really stepped up. I think he was the most consistent one of your players.
For sure. He had load because obviously Tyler couldn't play the minutes we wanted him to. And Joel was new to the entire team. He'd never met anybody on that team until arriving on Monday. So it was his first time. And yeah, he was great. But hey, do we actually know that you guys are in? Like Cape Verde's in, or what's happening with Uganda?
I think they disqualified him.
Okay. Because they've only got 13 teams listed.
Yeah, they're gonna disqualify them because nowadays when you miss a tournament for FIBA because of COVID on your team, they disqualify you. That's what happened with one team from London that came to play here, the qualifiers against our team in Nashville. They got disqualified too.
Okay.
So one of the main things that I want people to really understand is how hard Liz works, especially behind the scenes. Liz is always looking to enhance her skills. While we were in lockdown last year, she participated in an advanced analytics course and also continued to work on her film analysis skills. She also always makes herself available to other coaches and players. She'll join coaching webinars and panels, for example, the Seed Academy in Ghana and the Coaches Chat, while also co-hosting this podcast too with you, Karabani. You both did such a great job in the last window back in November. You brought a lot of great social media attention to the game and the players. Liz is also watching a lot of film and live games for around the world, international and local competitions, scouting players throughout Europe, the US, and keeping in touch with her players. So watching their club games, whether they're in France, Spain, in other parts of Africa, and even the UK. And also after a tournament, it takes Liz at least 20 to 30 hours to put all her advanced stats together and then to publish them across social media platforms. So not only is she doing a lot of that stuff, because of the time difference, she'll be up at 2 o'clock watching a game, 4 o'clock doing an interview maybe at 11 p.m. And whilst doing that and that crazy schedule, Liz is also working a corporate job as well from Monday to Friday. So I really want people to appreciate all the effort that goes into her, and her work ethic as well. This is the start of her journey, and that's what's so exciting with Kenya, is it's that first step in I think we're all going to be sitting back and watching in amazement as she smashes more glass ceilings.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Now I gotta jump in there. Hold on a second, Elkanda, before you get in. I'll tell you this. You mentioned that she was doing this with me, and she did help out a lot, because the kind of preparation that she was also putting into this, it was a lot. Because with me, I just rant, and that's why they say, well, Quelly rants, right? It's how I feel at the time. But she brought the kind of preparation that gave this show a lot of value, and also a lot of the people that we managed to get and just have all these conversations that have managed to help a lot of people or give insight to a lot of people. She was doing all that, man. She was doing all that. And Elkanda, I was talking to you in reference to the Kenyan team, and I was like, I can clearly see the difference in that team right now because of the preparation that she brings along with the experience that she has. It's a totally different team. It was a totally different team. I got it. I know I got better because of her. So I'm sure they got better because of her. She reminds me of Stephen Curry. Liz, I knew you were going to like that. I had to drop that. She makes everybody better.
But also, just imagine how many more people are paying attention to these qualifiers because of you guys. And also for Ivan, you stepping in and co-hosting while you're out. You didn't have to do that. And people are looking forward to seeing these videos when they drop. So that's why we got to get you all down into Rwanda. You know, got to hang out with you guys.
Oh, most definitely.
But you know, I gotta get out of this stage and go to the other stage. So, but for me, it's always a pleasure coming here. You know, like just talking and meeting people and having people that have a different vision, a different see life and basketball through different eyes. And you know, for me, it's always good. Also, it's a hangout spot. We done made a connection here with Will Quelly here, and also I met Coach Liz through this. So it's an opening, and you too today. So
yeah, for sure.
Just living this part, and you know, we joking right now, but I have a serious question, because Vic said you work from 9 to 5, and then you're doing this coaching job, and you know, and I know all the coaches in the African national teams, all the countries, they get paid. You know, some of them get a lot of money. And I just want to put this question out there. How do you feel about being in that position where you have to work a 9 to 5 job and you still got to be a professional coach to a national team of a country? So basically you're representing a country, which is a very serious job at an international level. How do you cope with having a job and still having to have a second job, basically?
Oh, look, it's intense and it is overwhelming. And I hope moving forward for like Afrobasket, I don't have to have my 9 to 5 hanging over me, because just imagine what I could do for my team if I could give it 100% attention, right? But unfortunately, you know, I need to pay bills, and that means I've got to have my corporate role, which is very flexible, and I thank them for that flexibility. But it would be like every other head coach of an African team.
Or any female professional athlete, Liz.
Or, you know, female athletes as well are in the same position. If we could focus solely on coaching or playing, just imagine how much better we would be.
Yeah, I know, because I know the coach in Cape Verde, he's only doing coaching, you know, like he's only focusing there, and he lives in Cape Verde, actually. A lot of people don't know that. He lives in Cape Verde. He follows the kids there. That's why, like, these windows, we've been having so many players that are from Cape Verde. Would you like to move to just a position where you just do basketball? And
are you recruiting? Are you trying to?
Listen,
are you trying to poach her?
I'm asking her if she would like to move to Kenya as a full-time job and stay there and work with the development of basketball there and have basketball coaching as a first job, and not have to worry about having another job so she can pay her bills.
Yeah, definitely. And when I was in Zambia, I was still working a job but it was in the sports sector. So it at least had a correlation to coaching. I was a high performance manager for our Olympic sports in Zambia. As I feel definitely, yes, would I like to be here in Kenya and that's all I'm doing? That's all I have to worry about? 100%. I'm looking at a BAL team, hopefully, which launches in May. And part of that contract is working with their senior team and working with their junior academy, start developing them from there. So where I can get a role that's not only just coaching, but also like development, that's obviously ideal. But my priority will always be club teams and national teams.
So you wouldn't like to have an oversight over the whole federation?
Like the technical director?
Where you would develop the whole program for the whole federation?
Yes. Yep. So they call that technical directors in federations. Yeah. And look, that's a lot of responsibility, and they end up more on the policy and the grassroots development side, and rarely do the coaching for the national teams. So right now, where I am in my career, I definitely want to do more of the coaching and I want to mentor or influence the technical directors or the coaches in that country. Maybe when I'm in my 40s and 50s, I'll look at getting more of those policy and administration kind of roles.
That's pretty dope. Hey, Coach Liz, I got one favor to ask you. When you get that job with BAL, or if you do get that job, could you hire me? I'll just carry your clipboard. I just want to be on TV. I'll just carry your clipboard around and all that, and I can be like, I'm just out there, right?
You were coming at me because I was recruiting you, and you offered yourself
Hey
a
man,
job?
I saw what you were doing. I had to put mines out there also. I saw what you were doing. You're pulling it your way. I had to pull it my way also.
Well, Vic is coming to Rwanda as our team manager, part 2. So,
Okay, I see
Team
nepotism.
manager.
See,
team manager.
I see there's nepotism here. I'm not gonna carry the clipboard, but Vic is gonna do something. That's fine. That is fine, Coach Liz. That is fine. I get it. Okay, so let's say bye to everybody. All right, TV land. What we're about to talk about, yo can't be part of it. It's too much for y'all. So we're saying bye, and then we gonna talk.
Yes. See y'all. Pleasure to be here.
Ciao.
Ciao.